Brought to you by the Odd Pod Squad. Comedy, music, reviews, news, history, current affairs, and much more. See more from the home of all your odd podcasters on Twitter at Odd Pod Squad.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics, from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined in the studio, as always, my co-host, and a guy who can totally turn a profit, Taylor.
Yeah, you're right there, fella.
Yeah, man, yeah, not too bad. Then there's a round of applause for Mr. Taylor.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Oh,
I'm back in England again.
Wow, back in England, yeah. These guys are going for it tonight. Back in England, yeah, where have you been?
Yeah, well, I thought, Europe wants to come and tap on our door. I thought I'd pop over to Brussels, give them a bit of shit down there.
So what have you been doing, just protesting on your own in the squares?
Yeah, just protesting. I shot on the step as well.
Oh.
I didn't take a picture, I should have, but it's a bit mucky, innit? So.
Suppose it's a gift, isn't it?
Well, it is, you know what I mean? They won't give their shit to us, we'll give our shit to them.
Fair play, mate.
Has to be done.
So did you really go to Brussels, or was that just like...
yeah, in my mind.
In your mind,
in my
astro
mind.
Travel?
Yeah. I think it worked.
I was going to say, because it's like everyone should have a dream, but like,
I
haven't
got the power of a nuclear bomb in my hand, though.
Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? What have you been up to this week, apart from imaginarily going to Brussels?
Sleeping a lot.
Been sleeping a lot?
Been doing a bit of sleeping, yeah. Bit of walking.
Bit of walking, bit of sleeping, not in that order, like sleepwalking.
No, I used to do that in the past, but I haven't done that for a long time.
I've never sleepwalked.
How do you know?
But how would you say that? Sleepwalked or
sleepwalking?
Sleepwalking. I've never done any sleepwalking, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I had a friend who did, though. Yeah. Just jumped up in the middle of the night randomly. Yeah. Whoa. Ages. When do you know when you have sleepovers when you're a kid? I had like a few mates round, and then all of a sudden, like, one of them would just like leap up and just random
piss in the corner or something.
No, but I've had plenty of stories about friends who do stuff like that, but it's usually after a night out when they're pretty drunk. So that's a bit different. But no, have you? So you've sleepwalk? You've done a bit of sleepwalking, have you?
I've been told I have. Yeah, I moved into my brother told me once I moved into a house, and when we moved in, at night I walked up to the edge of my bed and started talking to it.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like,
you freak.
Fuck off. And he's like, yeah. I remember him talking about videos one night. Standing up talking to the wall about videos.
I've heard of this talking in your sleep, but then...
No, he's standing up, standing up against looking at the wall, talking to it.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's like...
So he's actually got up out of bed physically?
Yeah.
Yeah, never done it, I don't think.
I've slept in barracks with my eyes open, apparently. Apparently, yeah.
I'm going to sleep with one eye open. I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Got both eyes
to be honest,
like,
if I was sleeping in a barracks with like multiple people,
yeah,
because I've got this thing. I mean, it's like I'm not nothing against armed force soldiers or anything like that, but it's like, why would you want to go to do that job? Do you know, like, unless you're a bit like, let's go and kill us some Indians.
you got to stay close together, haven't you? Really?
Well, not Indians, generally.
You've got to have that, because it works out that men as a community together works out as a group. Yeah. The best place to do it is in the armed forces.
Okay. Oh, what, to get like all male bonding?
Yeah,
like wild hogs?
Well, no, but like it's like a camaraderie. What's the word?
Like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
A sort of like just like a group of sort of like fucking
people who
got your back.
And you will look after them totally down to the key, and you can actually prove it by inaction.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of these kind of stay friends?
But there's no other place you can get that.
Well, yeah, like there is. It's literally any place, any group of people.
Not like that, no.
How do you know?
Nah,
serious. Like, if you put a group of people in any situation, they'll bond over it. Like, and I think, like, it depends what you... you put a load of drama kids in a group to do something drama, then they'll bond because they've got a common interest and a common goal. I think,
but the bonding has to be over a long period, not like a short period of I'm doing a show.
Well, what do you mean? It's like No, well, generally, it's like, well, all right then. Well, what about when you have, like, summer holidays or summer camps or whatever, and it's like you make friends, and then by the end of that period, you, like, a week...
Yeah, but you're not
all remember when you went on holiday when you were a
house.
kid, and you were like... Oh, you make a friend on the holiday, and then by the end of 1 week, you were crying or like, I'm going to miss you. Right? Because it's like, you know, well, who the fuck are these people? These people, it's just one person I met.
Yeah, but back then you're young, you know.
But that's what I'm saying.
You're
it's
young,
like
dumb,
you bond.
and full of cum, you know what I mean?
No,
so
fuck you now.
You got that on your mind, that's it.
No, not like that. I mean, just generally, you not in a relationship sort of way, in like a romantic way.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
But like, just I think like any time you put a group of people together in a situation where, like in the army, it's a bit of a kind of a tough situation. So you know, it's like
you've stand up.
You've got to kind of rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Whereas like. So I can imagine if you were put a group of strangers in not a hostile situation, but in a situation where they were needed to rely on each other and work together as a team, or like they would grow a bond, I think.
Yeah,
so,
but
some
over
extent.
a period, because you know, over a period, yeah, I'd say yeah, but I would even say it'd have to be a longer period, because within the forces, you're shown and trained together. You're not actually separated.
No, but
doing
again,
and then coming together.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from,
You know
but it's like you could apply that logic to any sort of situation. Anyway, we'll move on from that because I've not even told you.
Started the news
not
yet.
even started anything yet.
No.
And he's been an argument.
What have you been up to anyway?
What have I been up to? This week I've been pretty ill, to be honest, but I've still been into work and stuff. No, I've just been like ill.
Right.
Yeah.
Not feeling it.
Yeah, just not feeling good. So,
but
but
them days.
no, it sounds like I'm a depressive. No, it was medical.
Yeah.
Like, but been into work and stuff, but like I had a few bits to do. So pretty kind of lazy week in terms of like trying to get personal projects done. So been off, so not been really on social media this week much.
Yeah,
and watched a lot of Easy Telly. And I've got a bit of a thing right. Yeah, so I was working on this photography workshop the other night. So you sound like you're bloody dying on me as well, to be honest.
Sorry, mate, I think I've got a few in my mouth.
Oh my god! Do you know what? You've lowered the tone. We're literally 7 minutes.
In the throat, I mean.
Literally 7 minutes into the show, and you have been a diabolical little shit from the start.
You were winding me up in the beginning.
Winding you up in the beginning. He said to
me
the other day, he said, we've not had a good banter argument on the show for a while, and I'm starting to think that you're trying to get one out of me.
No,
you're trying to push it.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, I was on my way to this photography workshop I was doing, working with really cool photographer, and when I was on my way there, I passed this woman, and she was carrying a suitcase, but the suitcase was in a separate bag,
What?
Now the suitcase had wheels, right? And she had the suitcase in like a really big sort of like cloth sort of, one of these bags for life.
Yeah.
Right. And you could see it sticking out of the top. It was a big suitcase, but it was a big bag for life, right? And out of the bag, you could see these wheels on the suitcase, right? So I'm walking behind her and I'm thinking, she'd be better off putting the bag for life in the suitcase and pulling the suitcase, surely. Yeah. So
was the handle broke or something?
No, it looked like a brand new suitcase. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said it to her, like, you're a bit of a joke. Do you know what I mean? You could obviously there'd be a number of reasons why she's not done that.
Yeah.
Right. But when I said to her, well, you'd be better off putting the bag in the suitcase, wouldn't you? Bubble. Yeah, like a bit of a joke at her, and she just went, I don't want to put the bag in the suitcase.
You don't want to get it dirty. That's what it is. You don't want to get it dirty.
And she pretty much had a go at me in the street, and I
just had fuck off and run off.
And I just laughed. I couldn't.
You laughed at her?
Yeah, I laughed because it wasn't a nasty laugh. It was one of those where it was involuntary. Yeah, because I couldn't believe that what I saw. Firstly, Like, it wasn't like nothing. It was just surreal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I said it to her, and she got so angry. Well, she didn't get angry, but she got het up.
You were interrupting her personal.
I had no right, to be fair. So yeah, it was interesting. I was just kind of like, what the fuck? So yeah, it was just something that I thought.
Mad woman.
Bit of a mad woman. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, she might have seen you and gone, well, I hope this monster's after me.
He's going to try and steal my suitcase.
No, 'cause I've got fucking money in it.
No, maybe, yeah, maybe she had something.
Might have had a dead body, a
Who
mouse, a
fuck
hamster.
knows? Yeah, and maybe and it had a bit of a dodgy lock on it. So if she pulled it,
yeah.
the lock would have opened and the body would have fell out.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Or if she carried it around with a massive arms.
Yeah.
With a massive muscly
And she
Arnold
build
Schwarzenegger arms,
she can
then
build
she could
herself up at the
potentially,
same time,
like,
then,
you
can't
know, get away with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Theoretically speaking, you know, well. Anyway, welcome to the show. You're listening to Never a Straight Answer, the podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, this week we're going to be discussing something we've definitely talked about before.
Yeah.
But it's a topic that kind of keeps on giving, really, doesn't it? And it's topic of Nostradamus and prophecies and predictions.
This year?
Well, for this year, we covered a lot of this year last year.
Yeah.
When we were kind of coming towards this time of year, we did an episode on Nostradamus' 2019 predictions.
We did.
We're going to go over like a recap on some of those, but we're also going to look at 2020 and see what Mr. Nostradamus has to say about that.
Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting, but again, it's a lot of reading into it and trying to match up with public figures and stuff that's going on in the world to these prophecies, because you read the prophecies and they just sound a bit weird. So and then it's like, right, who fits into this? But we'll go into all that a bit later on. So keep listening to the show, and we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
It's actually there's quite a lot of this. You know, like there's a lot to it, and considering, will say this about the guy. 500 years his prophecies have been coming out, and you know, 500 years since his birth, wasn't it, around about that?
1503 he was born.
So it's been quite, you know, for just over 500 years. So we know, but apparently the Gregorian calendar, when it went into Julian calendar, there was a bit of a time difference there. So like it was actually a bit different. So anyway,
1555 was when he actually threw his predictions out.
Right. Well, since then, that's still a fair few hundred years.
Yeah.
And this people are still talking about him. And still talking about the predictions. So we'll cover a bit about that bit later on.
Yep.
And other than that, we've got pretty good show coming up. So there you go.
Tuned.
If you've never listened to us before, welcome along. Yeah, I know we've been getting a couple of new listeners.
Yeah.
We're a bit kind of loosey-goosey.
Bit loosey-goosey
over here. So, you know, if you might learn something, you might think we're talking a load of shit. But welcome along anyway. And I hope you like what we do. Yeah. There's plenty of episodes out that you can go back and listen to as well. So
all different kind of
loads of different topics.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do next... Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to crack on with the news. Oh, yeah, and that noise indicates the beginning of the news.
Yeah.
So, got quite a lot of news this week. Quite a lot of weird shit going on in the world this week.
Oh, yeah.
From space to genetic stuff... to just general mad stuff going on. I feel like obviously there's a big one going on at the minute. Suspension of Parliament. Hooray! That's fucking ridiculous. It's like
it happens every year, though.
It does happen every year, but it doesn't happen just so fucking close to something like this. Yeah.
Those who don't want Brexit basically are trying to sabotage it, and they're doing a fucking good job at the minute.
Well. Basically what they're saying, they're saying that this is a slap against democracy.
No,
so, you know,
it's not.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's what their opinion is. They're saying that, you know, they obviously... It was like a sort of fucking... I mean, protest-wise, people are kicking off. They're not happy with the way things are.
Yeah. And, but a lot more will kick off if, one, it passes the 31st of October.
Yeah.
2, we don't go. It will kick off royal.
We would definitely be going off at the 31st. I think what the situation is now is that they feel if we're suspending Parliament, then we're not going to go out on a deal. It's going to be a no-deal Brexit.
Yeah, because it gives them a week in, and then it gives them a week. Next week they go in, and then they finish, and then they're back on the 14th of October, and then they've only got a couple of weeks until the 31st. And Boris has already stated if they haven't got a deal by the 1st of October, they're already set the plans in action to leave with no deal.
Well, I think that's probably what's going to happen then, isn't it?
I hope, to be honest.
Yeah. So,
I hope there's a deal, to be honest, because
this is what everyone hopes for.
Saying they're starting to move a little bit, and they always move on the 11th hour, but they know we know that, so why are they going to do that for us now?
Leave it for the 11th and half hour.
But that's the same as the dickheads who are trying to get, which this has actually gone to court in Scotland once, and it's been adjourned. But it's also gone to the High Court, and we're waiting to see what happens with that, because John Major's jumped in.
John Major, yeah, I noticed, and I was like,
and
fucking hell, where's Major been for the last wherever? And this has got
been
him
with Curry,
rattled,
hasn't he? Well, been messing with that Curry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you're going out protesting or anything, just be safe and don't get yourself.
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dickhead. Don't get yourself into any
whatever
trouble.
your opinion
you can
is.
Still protest and have an opinion and not
fight at the end of it.
Yeah, not turn it not let it go violent. So you know what I mean. If everybody has a bit of sense, then you can still go out and protest and get your point across without getting yourself
or injured or even nicked.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, you don't want. Last thing you want is Christmas coming and you're in nick for like next fucking.
Yeah, because this is it though. Because this is the way we're living at the moment is like you can get charged for fucking anything. You'd be up for terrorism charges, and all you did was carry a bit of a placard around, and you know what I mean.
And the prisons are full as it is.
So I've got a bit more. What have you got? Any news you want to talk about? I've got another one here.
Go for it.
Are you all right?
I think so.
He wasn't like this before. No, we literally just started the show and he just started dying on me.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
Do you want a drink?
I've got one here. I'll take a sip of this.
Good stuff. Yeah. I've got this story here. So there's been a gold explosion, if you can believe it. Gold explosion. And I don't mean this is like one of these gold rushes where they found loads of gold somewhere. This is actually in space, right? And whereas a supernova is a powerful explosion of a star, right? A kilonova, right, is the result of two neutron stars colliding, right? So there's been a massive explosion, and it's ejected almost loads of amounts of gold and platinum into the cosmos, apparently.
Fucking minute.
Right, so scientists have confirmed that a kilonova has occurred in a nearby galaxy. And there's not much point in trying to recover any of the precious metals, but only they're far away. Yeah. But the remnants we believe to have been probably sucked into a black hole or something.
Oh, don't say that.
So, but
all
this precious metals that were what we consider to be precious metals,
has
literally just exploded into the cosmos
and then fucked off into wherever.
Yeah, just disappeared or been sucked off. But I mean, the thing is, it's like, I think it's been a bit of a kind of a crazy coincidence that, all of a sudden everyone's trying to go up into space. Right? Yeah. And now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, don't worry though, there's no point trying to go up and claim any of it because, to be honest, it's all going to be getting sucked into a black hole anyway.
Not worth it.
I don't believe that'd be the case because there's still remnants of these asteroids and stuff that have been kind of like not even asteroids that we're looking at, but asteroids that have just been floating around since the last explosion.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
If you think about it, like let's say the planet Mars, right, well, if it's got no atmosphere, there's nothing to stop the items from landing on there and gathering it from there.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
exactly.
what they got to do with the moon and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, that's why when they go up to check obviously if they send anything up to Mars to kind of do reconnaissance, then they're looking at rocks, they're looking at if what's natural, what's just landed
what's worth
there.
the money for me to go out there and pick it up.
Yeah, this is it. It's geological surveys, isn't it? At the
Yeah,
end of the
basically.
day.
Yeah,
so it's like it's the same as what we do on Earth. We look at interesting rock formations and tectonic plates and how not just tectonic, like all those types of things, as well as like how the seasons work on rocks, where you get layers of different rock formations. Yeah. So it's like you can see if there's been a geological event, or like a lava flow, or a glacier moving, or any of those types of things. You can see that from the rock. Yeah. So it makes sense that when they go up to these planets, they're looking for what's natural, what's not.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's like if they can isolate or indicate which planets were close, and potentially could be a debris field for this gold and platinum, then it could be quite easily retrieved. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if they can get it, go and get it.
Well, I think that's
boost the economy, bros.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and they do reckon that, like, if we could grab something...
Don't lie about it, though. Tell us the truth. Just say, listen, right, it makes sense. We're all going up for the gold. Yeah, but, fuck the moon, fuck Mars. Yeah, we're going to get the gold and do my Walter Houston dance. Go, yeah.
But there's a problem.
Go on.
If you bring too much of it back, the economy in gold will go down.
True that. True that. Yeah, well, what would be the next most precious metal?
Platinum. I don't know. It'd probably end up something stupid like copper.
Copper is quite expensive, isn't it?
It is expensive, but
you wouldn't be getting your wedding band made out of it, though, would you? Well, would you?
Well, I don't know. I'd
probably react. I think it's the fact that it's a soft metal and it's highly conductive and it's got a lot of properties. Gold, like you can
germs and stuff like
exactly.
That.
It's like rather as copper, it'd turn your skin green. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, that'll be it. Have you got some news for me?
I have.
Go for it.
Talk space.
I'll talk a bit of space till the moomins come home.
Well, it looks like NASA's chief analyzer, Jim...
Or analyst.
You said it right, thank you. Has basically declared that Pluto is not a dwarf planet, but a planet.
I heard it was like, wasn't a dwarf planet, it was like an asteroid or an asteroid. It wasn't considered a planet at all. Yeah. And if you watched, this just reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode where it's like Jerry announces that it's a planet now, and everyone's like, and then they end up going to Pluto because
I remember that.
And it's like he's got some news for us. He's going to tell us some amazing news, and it's like, what is it? It's like, Pluto's a planet.
Yeah, he was treated like a king.
Will you stop changing it? Because it's baffling the kids, right? For one, right? It's confusing the kids, It's confusing us adults, to be honest, because we were taught in school that there was 9 planets, and Pluto was one of them, It was a small one, and it was on the outer skirts.
But now there's 2 more outside.
Planet. So, but they're considered planets. Yeah. So how many planets are actually in our solar system now?
In a minute.
Go on. Enlighten me, because I have no idea. Go on. 11 planets.
If you count the 2 exoplanets just outside our solar system.
Right, so we've got right, and so we'll go from like the closest to the third.
And I'm counting Pluto as a planet.
We're going right, okay, so we're going from the closest. So go on, give us your planets. You've got, what is it? Mars,
no.
Venus,
no. Mercury,
right?
Venus.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Is it?
No,
Jupiter, Saturn. Then what?
Then
Uranus. Then Pluto. Neptune and then Pluto.
Then Pluto,
Right. So what are the other 2?
We haven't got names.
We haven't even got names for them. No. That is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure they must have names for them.
No, because they only just found the second one last week.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, because a while ago they found another one just outside,
and they wonder why the education system's all a mess, because it's like we don't even know, and then it's like, well, we what they should be teaching kids is saying, oh, well, this is what we know so far to be the truth. Not teaching it as gospel.
Yeah, but they're teaching us dumb shit.
And they're not even updating you.
No.
Like, you know, it's like you got the curriculum, we've done that now, moving on.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, all right, then we'll since last year when we taught you this, it's all changed.
You know what? This comes to a point that I wanted to say to you before. Right. Tell me where truth is now.
Truth's
because you cannot find it no more.
No, truth's what you believe, isn't it? It's like this is why politics is so
but if
rubbish,
I come to
because
you,
it's like no matter what you believe, and you believe it so strongly that you'll join a debate team or you'll run for government based on those truths. But when that's what I'm saying, when you come to prove it, it's like you can't prove it against the other person because their beliefs are so strong that you both don't want to listen to it. So arguing the point is pointless because you're so pig-headed and they're so pig-headed, and you believe what you believe and you believe what you believe. There's no compromise. There literally cannot. You can't get people in a room and let them work it out because it just won't work. And this is a lot of time this is why religion fails, because your ideologies are totally different to their ideologies. Yeah. So it's like, well, all right, well, you're never going to agree. You contradict. You're never going to agree on it. So therefore, war and bullshit. War and bullshit. Yeah. And that's the way of life. Yeah. So where truth stands.
You could never prove the truth anymore because one sector is saying this and the other lot are saying another thing, and they've both got evidence here and there. Now we all know one side's going to be bullshitting and the other side is as well. And there's a lot of hidden history.
Well, how do you
that we've been not privy to?
Prove what evidence? Well, it's a case of trying to legitimize the evidence that they've got, I suppose. To a point where their evidence, if it can't be 100% confirmed, then it doesn't get counted as evidence.
Yeah. Well, this is like I was saying to my manager the other month about, justice is going to lose itself because
justice in the American way.
Google made a thing where if I talk for 10 seconds, they can basically copy it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
This face recognition is changing as well. I could be put somewhere else where I wasn't with my voice, and I'd have to prove that it wasn't me. But realistically, someone else has been fucking around with it to place me in
like
an area.
Next stage of sort of identity.
And
theft.
it is coming, and it's coming faster than we really think. You know what I mean? But people are not looking at this kind of stuff.
And they are. There's been a lot of kind of this sort of stuff being mentioned.
Yeah, but nothing's getting, seriously topic. Serious.
It's
topic
like facial recognition.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's been a lot of debate about why supermarkets and shopping centres like the Trafford Centre should have that sort of technology to track people who are shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, for what reason would they feel like they needed to do facial recognition on people? It just doesn't. And then who are they selling that information onto? Yeah.
Well, this is it.
It's a bit of a crazy one.
But the thing is, as well, the smallest amount of information about you can tell them so much. You'd be surprised how
That's
much
what I liked
you
about
can tell by just like
Peep Show.
A name or
remember that series Peep Show? Peep Show on Channel 4. He'd be like,
watched it, mate.
I loved it. It was brilliant. So he'd be like, he'd gone. I've done the big shop, and he was like, well, what have you bought cat food for? And he was like, to fuck up the Nectar card people. He was like, just throw them off.
Yeah.
Throw them off the game because they're like,
because you get a call later on and he goes, new cat food. Why am I getting fucking cat food finger?
Yeah, and it's like obviously the nectar inspectors.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. There's obviously people who collate data. Yeah, and information.
And
if you have a club card or whatever, then I can only imagine that information is based on sales and what products you're buying and all the rest of it. So, yeah. Oh, actually, I've got a bit of news. Bit of news about this week if we're talking about money. Yeah. PPI has finally finished.
Is it finished?
It's totally finished now, yeah. I think it was on the 29th.
Yeah,
it was the 29th at 11:59
in
the PM. Yeah, and after that, it was literally no more. You can't claim for PPI anymore. It is 100% gone.
And what is PPI?
Oh, payment protection insurance.
And how come the banks have to pay it back to the people?
Well, because they basically wrote these insurance policies into loans and credit cards.
Without even the people knowing
No, you basically could... It said on the form that you could opt out, but even if you opted out, they'd still take money from you for that. Yeah. So there was... And they'd mis-sell you as well, so they'd rather mis-sell you a payment protection. And a lot of that time, that insurance didn't cover you.
Yeah.
So they'd find a way of making
bypassing
it of bypassing it and didn't have to pay out because it was based on the fact that if you lost your job or was sick,
you claim the money
you
back.
wouldn't have to worry about your payments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you paid for. You're paying a little extra as insurance. So it's been going on for years anyway, and obviously it's been the cause of so many cold calling.
Yes.
I don't know anybody who's never had a PPI call. And you know, it
now
got to the point where
are fucking doing it.
It got to the point where you know, everyone was like getting pissed off.
Yeah,
with just random calls, and so you won't get them now anyway. But I mean, up until the day,
fuck off.
No, you can't get them now. It's over. 29.
Oh, I thought you meant random calls.
Oh, you'll get random calls.
Yeah,
but
I was
now
it'll be
like
one the other day.
Now it'll be like, have you had an accident in the last 3 years?
Did actually?
Yeah,
you said I believe you've sorted your accident out.
That's what they've moved on to now, because obviously
tell
it's these companies who were making they're legal specialists, and they take a percentage of your money for the PPI claim. Yeah, and I can only imagine they've made absolutely fucking thousands off this PPI shit for the last however long,
and and
now all of a sudden it's dried up. So it's like, well, what do? They go back to ambulance chasing and, you know, like doing these
dodgy things.
You know, like have you had an accident in the last 5 years? Scam? No, I wouldn't say scams, but you know, that's their line of work. But you know, it is
pricks.
That's the case, isn't it? So. I'm wondering what the next one will be now, to be honest.
There will be one.
Yeah, we'll get another cold calling fucking nightmare coming up. But death to the PPI. So I thought that was pretty interesting that it's been, it's gone.
Demolished.
You won't get it. No more PPI calls.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon scammers will go and do that. PPI, mate, can you give me your name?
Well, yeah, if you don't know that you've been, it's ended.
Yeah.
Do you know then? Yeah. Then
so you get some
listen to the podcast a bit more. That's what I'd say.
Concentrate.
Yeah. So I've got a fair bit of news actually. I've got this one here now. George Washington could have been the founding father of marijuana.
Yeah, brobs.
Yeah. So it's an urban legend that has gained serious traction since the 1990s, and it all started with the $1 US bill stamped with a conversation bubble near George Washington's mouth reading, "I grew hemp."
Yeah. Well, everyone did in Washington.
Those supporting modern day legalizations of marijuana jumped on the notion with a fury, whispering rumours, and basically got this thing going out that, you know, George Washington was involved with weed growing, and it kind of is to a point true, because obviously we covered the marijuana cannabis conspiracy.
I still can't believe it was illegal since 1937. I thought it was a lot longer than that.
The point was that obviously when the Brits came to the US and colonised, they had to grow a certain amount of hemp to send back to the UK.
In Washington,
right?
Where it first
Washington. Right, so well, that's George Washington, isn't it? So I mean, but I think like the idea that George Washington would have had a plantation or a crop, because everyone did. It was like that was part of the stipend. You know, you go abroad, you're going to live in America and colonize in America. Then you send 25% of what you grow and what you produce, and part of that was hemp.
Yeah,
you had to grow 20. You know, you had to send back 25% of your hemp crop.
Yeah,
yeah. So, yeah, it makes sense to me. But it basically says, you know, like this article was saying, like, does any of it ring true? And you know,
does it matter?
They're calling him the founding father of weed now. So
yeah, but does it matter? To be honest, really, if they do call him the weed father or not, it don't really matter because he still stays his stature of what he is now to this day, I would imagine. So.
Well, there we go. In 1765, it proves that the president did indeed cultivate hemp on a large plot of land.
Don't mean he smelt it.
Referred to as the Muddy Hole.
The Muddy Hole?
Yeah, in a journal entry he notes having taken too long to separate the males from the female hemp plants.
Right.
So, yeah. But, so, there you go. It has been kind of looked at, and it apparently has been confirmed. George Washington was a bit of a ganja farmer, but hemp and marijuana is two totally different things. I mean, this is the thing: hemp is produced to. I mean, separating the males and the females is interesting when he's saying that there, because if you were separating them, then you'd be trying to get.
You know what you're looking for.
You know what you're doing.
You know what
there.
you're doing.
You know what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you were just growing hemp, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, well, it's better than heroin,
if it was
isn't
just
it?
being kind of, you know, used as paper or mashed down to make rope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's history's.
It's just the way that history's painted. It makes people seem like whiter than white, or do you know, like like
if you really look,
and if you exactly if you. You know, people have rich lives where things happen in the life, and you know, it's not all so cut and dry as the history books will make you believe. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So
totally. Actually, a few famous historians that I've learnt lately were a couple of let's say bastards, and it was like, I never thought he was like that, or I never thought she was like that, and it was like, well. Now this because they're way gone and like buried.
What's
like
that thing where they say never don't meet your heroes, because it's like, you know, they might be really nice on, or you might feel like they're great on the TV or in the movies.
Susan meet you,
but it's like
bumped up on cocaine.
Not even that. Maybe just their attitude or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they might just have no fucking like respect for the fact that you're there, or you know, you've got a, you know, you to you. Say if it's your biggest star, and you know, starstruck to meet him, and you go over and you're like, oh my god, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to you, and you ask him for their autograph and they just tell you to fuck off. That's going to be kind of like, oh well, you're not as kind of like charming as you are in all your movies.
Well, look at all the ones that did Darth Morph, was it? Was it Darth Morph who was charging $5 for his autograph?
Oh, they're all like that at Comic-Con. Yeah. They're all doing that, yeah.
But he was one of the first ones when he'd only just come famous, this karate teacher. He'd only just come famous at doing his stuff, and then people were asking, and so he thought, oh, quick book here, $5 an autograph. And started charging.
Oh, they're all at it, like I say. I mean, when you go to Comic-Con...
now, but they were bitching about it back then.
Oh, I don't know. I think this has been like going on for years. If you know about it this year, if you've been going to Comic-Con for a fair few years or whatever, have these celebrity guys always charged for autographs? Because it's like, I think it's... You know, I think if you're getting paid to kind of come to the event anyway, and you know, sit and speak or whatever,
you pay tickets to get in, so why are you going to be paying an extra?
It's like
it's
the
not
whole
a lot.
idea about going to these conventions is so you can meet your favourite stars, or
not to get robbed.
Well, it's not getting robbed.
Well,
it's just like, you know,
they're mugging you.
They're cashing in more on the fact that you're a fan,
because you're
willing.
What I
mean? And you're like, oh
yeah. Willing.
So, but then I think that takes away the sort of specialness about it, because it's like then you're putting that image up on Facebook, and it's like, or on your social media sites, and it's like, well, did you pay for that? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like you
and they
get
probably
me.
Paid, say double the amount they actually did it. £10 I had to pay. Yeah, and bullshit. Everyone else was like, $5 I paid. Wicked, I got a deal there.
Out for a photo. Have you got any more news?
I have. Manchester's been raided from yesterday.
The whole city.
They all one part of the city. Basically, we have rebels sitting in the middle of the road, going, "Yeah, we want people and the government to sort out this crisis with climate change."
Right. Yeah. Okay. So where were these rebels?
I don't know the street.
Come on, get your info.
You
coming to me with a story and you don't even know all the deets.
Hey, it's not like you can fucking miss them, really.
So how many?
There must be about 50 down there, and then loads of volunteers, people going down there, going like, "Yeah, we want to, tell business this, that, and the other."
So what are they trying to do? Like stop traffic and
basically they're trying to interrupt so it interacts in everyday life for Mancunians, and basically so we'd turn around and go, "Yeah, you know what? We should join with you." Blah blah, this that and the other.
I've got a lot of people beeping the horns and just being frustrated and
if it lasts any more than 4 days, people are going to start kicking off, and we've got to see how it deals up until
Monday.
Still
there?
Yeah, they're there for 4 days. They started yesterday. Hell. They're here today, and they're there tomorrow, and then Monday.
Is this in the city centre?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So is it a main street in the city centre?
Yeah. It's not like Oxford Street. I think it's down the road from Piccadilly.
Ah, right. Portland Street. Maybe.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Idiots, man. I'm not saying that idiots have a sort of a passion for things or anything, but
they're going to get people turning their backs on them by doing that. To be honest, if they're going to interrupt the lives.
Yeah, because this is it. It's like you're making a statement outside the place that could change it. Yeah. Then fair play, but
do something to the business.
When it's like just you're holding up the just public.
Yeah. Sponsor boycotting business if they're that bad.
You're preaching to the choir, aren't you, really? Because it's like, we know, right? But like
we can't really
do anything about it. Yeah, we'd love to take the weekend off or take, the week off to go and have a protest, but,
jobs and money. That is the main issue why they won't do it.
Think about your plans a little bit better and think about how you can go about these things
without interrupting the people.
Exactly.
But getting the people on your side.
Because this is it. These are the people you want on your side. You don't want them you don't want to piss them off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we're just turning our backs.
I'll have a look into that because that's quite interesting. But Manchester, you don't do things by half. To be honest, I
would have thought you'd would have had something down on it. Actually,
nah. Well, to be honest, when did it start?
It started yesterday. Literally yesterday.
Well, no. Well, I was in town yesterday and I didn't see anything. I know there was a protest outside the town hall this was all about St Anne's Square about what's going on with Parliament.
Yeah.
And there's been protests all over the UK about that recently.
Yeah.
So, there's been quite a lot going on protest-wise, so, it's probably just slipped past me.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit more news before we move on, because time's ticking on. We've got quite a lot to get through. Did you hear this? Right, check this out, right, quickly. Yeah. Just a bit of info, really. Found this article about in the 1950s, science kits that were being sold to children had actually real uranium in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're not good, but I suppose this is it. You never got science kits with, chemistry sets.
But they didn't think it was that bad.
Would you not prefer? I'd like a chemistry set though with actual chemicals in it, especially if I'm going to be a budding chemist.
Yeah, but you know what? They won't give it you because you'll blow yourself up.
They won't give it you now. Yeah, they'll give you safe chemicals that you can get a reaction out of.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you get that, to be honest. It's probably the lamest shit in a chemistry set nowadays.
Yeah, and a little bit as well.
Right. Whereas back in the day, they'd be like, have a bit of plutonium. Here's a bit of every one of every element.
Yeah.
You see what you can come up with.
Yeah.
And it is burning houses down and stuff like that. And I can imagine.
It's mad. It's mad.
I found this mad story actually. A German museum is displaying the real in quotations Snow White's gravestone.
Oh, fuck off.
I know, yeah. A museum in
Bamberg. Was it like next to a dragon?
Has revealed a gravestone of Maria Sophia von Estelle. Is that Estelle? the inspiration behind the story of Snow White.
Right.
So basically, they've discovered the creator's tomb or gravestone.
Ah, right.
So this museum in Germany is saying it as.
So it's not Snow White's then.
Yeah, it's the creator of Snow White's. The real.
It's not Snow White's then. It's the creator of Snow White's.
No,
it's not Snow White's.
No, don't be so pedantic. When they say the real Snow White, they mean the creator, the person who's who brought us the story.
Who brought Snow White?
She was the like. All right then, and plus. What was the story of Snow White? She ate an apple and slept until a prince came. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Now, this gravestone has been lost or laying dormant somewhere for however long. Yeah. And, someone's found it and they've brought it back. So, yeah, in reality, you could attribute the story of Snow White
with the stone.
With the stone, yeah. So the fact
you got any proof with paperwork? Well, she ain't got no proof with paperwork.
It came with a certificate of authenticity.
It has. Oh, brilliant!
Yeah. And it says on the back, 1 of 1.
1 of 1.
1 of 1. Yeah. So it went missing after the church that Von Estel was buried in was demolished, but since refurbished and resurfaced at a home in Bamberg in the centre of Germany. And it was donated to the museum by the family, so that's pretty interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I always think it's pretty cool when stuff's rediscovered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We need to find more of the history so we can actually try and get all our facts fucking right.
We were into the I'm into the Oak Island mystery. Yeah. Well, there was a stone that was found on the site there. Yeah.
Was that the one with the X?
Well, it's supposed to have. It was buried in the hole, and when they brought it up, it was supposed to have an inscription on it.
Yeah.
Now it went missing. And then in one of the later series, they claimed to have found it, but all the inscription had been kind of buffered off. Because whoever had been using the stone or had it was like a leather worker.
Yeah.
So he'd be using the stone to work off. So over the years, it had worn portion of the surface away and a lot of the text. So there was only a couple of symbols. But it made me think, is that legit? Is that the stone itself? Or is that just another stone that you've kind of... you've settled.
I'd only have one question to say, to be honest, and that is, do you think we're fucking stupid?
Well, that's
do you really think we're fucking stupid? The amount of shit that, this happened, and you can clearly see that something else is behind it, something else is going on, and it's a case of disguising the history again.
Do you think that's what it is, or do you think that they're just trying to make it more entertaining, or trying to? It's not disguising history, is it? It's discovering history, if you believe
again,
it,
and carrying on hiding what they've actually found.
Well, how do you mean?
How's it gone missing? Right? Why would you leave it? On the side or?
Well, because basically the amount of people who've on the Oak Island mystery, there's the amount of people who've been in the area and tried to find it.
Yeah.
And then the whole land's been redeveloped so many times in the pursuit of the treasure.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant they found it on this occasion.
No, they found it on this occasion, but it wasn't on the island. It was like it had been taken off the island and then it went missing. So then it was last seen in a shop window,
right?
Yeah, in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Or I think it was Nova Scotia. And then after that, nobody had seen it again. I think it's called the 9-foot stone or something like that, or the 90-foot stone, the 90-foot stone.
Up again.
And now they basically went looking for it and found a stone that matches the dimensions. And it's supposed to have an inscription on it, but like I say, because it's been worked on in this shop by a tradesman, it's buffed all of it away. So it's like, I've only got your word for it, if you like, because every sort of description of it that you've gave us or that have ever been written down, it doesn't really match the description of what you're claiming to be the object.
Exactly, it's like episode 14.
How do you mean?
As in, all of a sudden, they stopped filming what they were doing, and then it went on to some fucking bullshit. I didn't actually see it. I remember you talking about it.
Oh yeah, like the there was an episode that just disappeared.
I think it was 14.
Yeah, I
that
think
went
it was
missing and it straight went to 15 or something, and then it was.
And then they claimed that episode never existed.
Yeah, and it was like, what, you think we're fucking stupid or something? We know something's going on, or it would have just gone straight, or just be straight with us. You know, one of the technicians fucked up with it. You know what I mean? Just tell us.
It's like I said, I felt like they found something, and then they were going to try and wrap it up and make it out as if it was nothing, and that there's nothing worth looking for on the island. Let's go home.
It's a money maker. We're the suckers who've been watching it.
Anyway, I've got one last story before we move on to the main episode.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
You seem very angry tonight.
No, it just wound me up that, like, you know, there's so many, like, there's so many hidden shit, and when you do find it, it still gets hidden.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, well, I'd like to think that these things, it's like with this Snow White stone, right?
Yeah.
It's like that was something that did disappear, that's something that was lost, and it's been brought back, and it's been displayed in a museum now. So that is lost history.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was no reason for anyone to cover that up.
No.
I do get where you're coming from, and there is history out there that would be groundbreaking.
All the time.
And do you know what? It's going back to the 9th planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, is the truth easier just to keep under wraps because it's more hassle than it's worth?
Yeah, more handle.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, right, well, does this mean we have to change the curriculum again? It's got so many implications.
Yeah.
Just this small piece of information. That is it worth saying, we're going to teach that Pluto's a planet
quicker now with the computers.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, like, but again, it doesn't become common knowledge, and I think
that's
because
true.
there was a time where it's like we all got our information from the one place, or there was limited access to information. Whereas now, you can get your information from one source, I can get it from another.
Yeah.
Next
and
door
it can
conflict
get it, like fuck, and that's why I'm on
it's
about
the same
truth.
story, but it conflicts exactly. Or you get different opinions based on different stories you've seen.
Yeah.
So in terms of trying to convey the truth, I think your truth is different to my truth, which is different to the next guy's truth. Yeah.
I
but
just
that
want
doesn't
the
necessarily mean, well...
Even if it's bad, I want the truth.
It all comes down to conviction and what you believe.
Yeah,
your truth, again...
And you can only believe on what you see or what you find.
Exactly. But your truth is never going to be...
The full truth.
The full truth
that
you want.
I agree with you on that one. I do agree with you on that one.
Hard. Well, I've got a good story here to wrap up the news, and I think you're going to enjoy this one because I liked it when I read it. And it's basically a huge drugs bust at Gatwick Airport.
Oh, that big one.
Massive one it was. Basically, a suitcase was found, and it turned out there's a massive drugs bust at Gatwick Airport that turned out to be vegan cake mix.
Not vegan cake mix.
Vegan cake mix.
Oh my god! Life sentence there. Fucking life sentence there, mate.
Officers were left with basically egg on their faces after a huge drug bust at Gatwick Airport. Turned out to be bags of vegan cake mix. British Transport Police were called by cleaners after they found a suitcase filled with blue plastic bags.
I wonder which copper nicked one of them. I thought, I could fucking flog that.
Yeah, get yourself some nice cake.
Right, I'll be on that tonight.
Bit of cake.
Yeah.
So they were bags. Fair enough. Yeah. When you open the suitcase, I can understand 100% why they thought it was suspicious.
Yeah.
The suitcase was filled with suspicious blue plastic bags with white powder, and basically it arrived at the airport about 1:35 in the morning. Officers basically grabbed the guy who was involved, and kept him waiting for a fair few hours before they called him in.
Sorry, sir.
They posted pictures on Twitter with a hashtag cake fine. Yeah. Right, so basically, the guy's been let off. He apparently
he didn't do nothing in the first place.
He didn't do anything in the first place, but obviously they kept him for ages.
Oh, look at that amount! Yeah. Shit, I'd have nicked him as well. I would have robbed him.
It looks suspicious as fuck. But please label any food you bring into as sample cakes. Label your stuff when you're bringing it in.
Hold on.
But
so
that means I can just go, oh yeah, that's cocaine, but put cake mix on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get away
He's
with
not going to search it. That's fuck.
So
hey, at least they were searching. At least they were doing a job. You know what I mean? Could have been worse than like shitloads of the stuff's coming in and no one's searching.
Well, so what's it?
But look out for if you've got cake mix now. Gonna get your door kicked in tonight.
Well, I just thought it was pretty funny when it's like they're buzzing because they
Put
thought
on a spoon.
They thought they had the biggest drug bust going for ages. You know, like this is the one that was gonna get them the bonus.
Wasn't it like something like 20 kilos, and then it ended up a second report in the afternoon went, no, it's 40 kilos now, and it's like, oh shit, they've doubled it.
And it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, a cake competition. You know who I blame?
What?
British Bake Off.
Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, Great British Bake Off, I blame them.
Hell, welcome to the Great Danish Smoke Off.
Yeah, it'd be on tonight and they'd be snorting all the cake mixture.
Oh, what is it? The Great Colombian Snort Off.
Hey, yeah.
The great
New channel soon. Channel
coming
5.
soon, the Great Colombian Snort Off. Oh, the fuck it, yeah, something like that. I'm sure we'll come up with some adverts for that later. So that was the news. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll be moving on to the main topic, which, like we said earlier, is Nostradamus and predictions for the end of 2019 and the 2020 year coming up. 2020, man. When did you ever think when you were a kid? Wow, the year 2020. Because obviously I was still in like the 80s. Or the tail end, was started to get a bit older, you know, towards the end of the 80s, but you know, it's weird when you think 2020 was a long way off, you know, and now it's here. It's the future.
Yeah.
We're in the future, man. I always thought we'd have flying cars and stuff by this point.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and actually this year, a Swedish company is about to let one loose.
No, they're not exactly mainstream, though, are they? Yeah.
No, but they are there. But it's not only that. It's the fact that throughout the back in the history, there was a lot more things hidden, and everything's coming.
What is
it
with you with hidden stuff tonight? You're obsessed. Obsessed with hiding history.
It pisses me off.
Don't get pissed off.
Well, no, don't piss me off. It winds me up because of...
It winds me. It pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off. It winds me up.
It winds me up.
It doesn't wind me up. It gets my goat.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't get my goat. It fucking grinds my gears.
It gets my cheese grater, man. It gets my cheese grater. I can't help it. What can I say?
He's a sensitive soul.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
I like what I like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think we're being fucked over, and
sometimes
it just needs to be sorted.
There was days, when I'd see Taylor and I'd be like, "You all right, mate?" And he'd just go, "No, I'm not," and walk off. And then I'd be like, "What's up with Taylor?" And then nobody'd know, and he looks pissed off. And then finally get it out, and he'd go, "Oh, it's this fucking something ridiculous."
To wind me up. Yeah, something I'd grab hold of, and they'd be like, "Oh,
you read in the paper,"
right.
And I'd be like, "It really isn't that worth getting that pissed off over," but you know.
No, but it keeps my head going while I'm working. You know what I mean? Keeps me busy.
Keeps him angry.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not angry. But then again, I do use that quite a bit actually.
So
to keep me going throughout the day.
What,
seems to work.
It's
just like, bam, just get your head down, get working.
He gets his focuses on something.
And not only that, if I don't think about it and sort it out in my head, it's always going to be there.
All right, well, I'll let you have that.
Thank you. You are generous.
I know. Good to you.
You are.
So moving on, we got a fair bit and Nostradamus stuff.
Yeah.
Nostradamus, he was, depending on the sources, I suppose, because obviously it's like with the calendar shift, you could say he was born on the 14th or the 21st of December, 1503.
Yeah.
And basically he was French. He was into his astrology.
He was.
He was a respected seer.
Yeah.
He was best known for his book, Les Prophéties, which was a collection of 942 poetic quatrains, allegedly predicting the future events. So,
1555 is that?
He had low. I think it was 1566. 55. Yeah, the book was first published in 1555, and has rarely been out of print since. What?
He was a shopkeeper as well. A husband, 2 kids.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's like just because he was known for being a seer or a prophet, that he didn't have a normal job and a normal life.
Well,
it's like Jesus probably had, like, you know, days where he just sat there with his feet up. You know what I mean? It wasn't all fucking Jesus all the time, which obviously he was, because if he existed, then he was Jesus. And he was Jesus all the time. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
there's days where you just kind of like you slob about, and there's days where you go out actively doing what you're known for. Do you know what I mean?
I think he went down to his mental state after his wife and kids died of the plague.
Who, Nostradamus?
Yeah, because after that is when he started getting and seeing what's. Like
his wife and child died in 1534 during the another plague outbreak. Yeah. So he, you know, alongside the doctors against the plague before, what was it? Oh yeah. So basically, he was fucking hell. I can't speak. This is me. This is me this week. I've been totally off my game. So anyway, yeah. So basically, like you say, his wife and child died of the plague, and then he's just basically. Do you think that was what it was?
Because that's what kicked it off. Yeah.
Well, these things where they say that your senses and kind of after traumatic experiences, where you could kind of change your outlook.
Yeah, because I think
unlock things.
Yeah,
because
I think your body holds back certain things because your mind or your body couldn't handle it.
So do you reckon Nostradamus was a mutant?
Shaped you, yeah. No, I think if something shaped you that much that it could.
That's the whole premise of like even in Deadpool, I suppose it's like the to draw out his mutant power.
Yeah.
Do you know when he were trying to fix him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the way they did that was by
forcing it out
of him. It traumatized him by kind of testing him with different things to see what would
his body could take
exactly, and kind of trigger a response.
Yeah.
So
I mean, big thing
in
like
terms of a
happened.
mental sort of power.
Yeah.
In terms of being like Nostradamus, he's able to see the future.
He probably hit his head against the wall so many fucking times.
It's like time travel didn't exist until I banged my head off the side of the toilet.
Oh, fucking hell.
And then I could see the future.
Yeah. And it's like, boom, stars, man, stars. I see planets, I see aliens.
So, obviously, we've talked about Nostradamus and stuff in the past, and we discussed how, you know, there was a lot of stuff in this year's prophecies that were based around like revelations and you know, like apocalyptic sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Predictions he'd made for the later side of 2019 obviously relate to the Antichrist, astronomy, the Book of Revelations, evil dictators, and even religious stuff. So like Revelation 13. Yeah. It all sounds a bit apocalyptic to me. So like, you know, he said that there'd be an Antichrist. And this dude basically said that there'd be 3 antichrists throughout all of his predictions. Yeah. One being Napoleon. Yeah. One being Hitler. And he believed that what people are saying, and a lot of people have said in a lot of the research I've done, is Vladimir Putin is the third one, right?
I mean, the last one, a young man who's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's a young politician who comes up and basically hits it to the top, and then things change from there. And then
he turn it, and then he flips it around.
He flips it.
Now, that could be anyone, but this is it. It's like, because
a lot of people thought it was Blair.
Well, yeah, that could be. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? Right,
still
actually,
could be.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Play out.
Well, the description of this person would be the head of a lion, the feet of a bear, and draws his power from the dragon.
Then I'd go Putin. Then I'd
there
have
you
to
go.
agree with that one because of the lion, the bear, and the
So there's a lot of people, like I say, who say that it's Vladimir Putin. Obviously, who became Russian Prez in 1999. Yeah. And this was because of the prophecy that kind of was linked to Nostradamus,
Yeah.
and like you say, it was like all these prophecies were kind of put out there, and then it's like if you think about it, Nostradamus doesn't know any of these people, doesn't know any of the history or whatever. If you believe what he says is true, he's wrote like a quatrain, which is I think it's a 4-line poem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that, we're supposed to kind of
find the hidden keys in there.
Yeah, glean sort of what we can from it.
Yeah.
If we can't, if there's a lot of people who kind of scrutinise and kind of go over this work and over these quatrains, to try and understand what the fuck he was going on about, or what they can attribute it to.
Yeah, but it's not even that, because it's the language as well.
That's
the
what I'm saying,
language no longer exists. There's hardly anyone who speaks it, or even more people who don't write it.
Exactly. And now I've got a bit written down a bit later on about this, because the way I look at it is like the way we speak now.
Yeah.
Even kind of the way they used to speak back in the day. Sounds very quite religious, sort of, anyway.
Yeah.
We're very kind of regal in a lot of ways. I mean, not the common person, but it's obviously the common person wasn't writing books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
common person couldn't read.
Exactly. So the majority of the books that were wrote are kind of rather Latin or
Monks.
very kind of the wording's very different to how we speak. We don't talk good English like we used to.
Yeah.
So it's like they've got.
Dear chap, I can't have that.
So I feel like
my way.
a lot of those words and a lot of those descriptive ways of kind of describing things came straight out of like religious books.
Yeah, and they also had double meanings as well, if not triple.
Yeah, double and triple meanings. Yeah. So it's like what we consider to be a translation of those now. Yeah. Doesn't really ring true to what he meant.
Oh, because we're talking Babylon. It's called. We're talking Babylon, which is based. Well, no, Babylon, because it's to do with the wording of certain words and what they actually mean in symbolism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what we talk now is just babble, basically. Right. It is babble, considering.
Now, the way I think about it is that when we're thinking about these, so say if Nostradamus actually is able to predict the future, right?
Well, the proof's in the pudding, and the
proof's in the
rising.
pudding, and he's basically exactly. He's made fair few predictions that have come off. We might not have understood most of them, and that's why we
definitely did afterwards. We definitely noticed the keys, what we should have been looking at that time.
Oh, right, okay. So, like, it was kind of like, oh, shit, now it's happened, it clicks.
Yeah. See, that works with that. Oh, shit, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the two brothers and the fire in the sky in 1996, but it actually was 9/11.
Yeah. So, when we're looking at these things, now you could argue that this is true. Yeah, and that he is a seer and he could see the future and he made these predictions. But it's when they start getting the religious side mixed into it, because it's kind of like I don't want to badmouth religion, but to me that's fiction. It's fictional, right? It's got elements of truth, but a lot of the time I think that it's just a lot of stories that are designed to kind of they're a good moral compass. Yeah, and they've got good messages, a lot of them. Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean to me that it's a factual document. Do you know what I mean? It's guidelines. It is guidelines. So when you get this, it's fantasy. Yeah. So you bring in fantasy into it. So then people are looking at the Nostradamus quatrains and then saying, well, how does this work with religious books like Revelations, and then all of a sudden we're in an apocalyptic situation where Nostradamus is predicting the end of the world.
And don't forget, apocalypse isn't what it's supposed to. Everyone
it's
represents.
The awakening, isn't it, or the discovering, or something like
that. It's like a new arrival. The
arrival. So I mean, it's like, and again, it's not like I'm bad mouthing religion, but it's like I just think that if you believe what Nostradamus was saying, then you can't really bring the religious writings into it because I mean, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's a tough one. I mean, I don't personally believe, unless I see it with my eyes. But we've talked about the Project Bluebeam stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, how can I trust what I see with my eyes as real?
And this is what I was on about, truth. Yeah, so, everything is being hidden from everyone.
So, what I'm getting at is, it means to me that, you know, you should strip that away, and just look at it as it's written and what's actually happening in the world, rather than bringing other documents into it that just confuse the issue even more. Yeah, because you've not really got... You're just trying to sort of marry up two documents that... One's got a prediction that this... It's not even a prediction, is it? It's like the Bible says that the rapture will happen, that the end of the world will happen.
All those bad people
all those things will happen. Yeah, right. Nostradamus is saying this, and this. Yeah, right. So there's two predictions, right? Now, people will obviously try and join those together to see how they work together. Yeah. But it always equals apocalypse.
Yeah, and agree. And Nostradamus has done his predictions have come more true than anything in the Bible.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
you know what I mean. You couldn't prove the stuff in the Bible had happened apart from calculations and theories and stuff like that. But if you weren't there and you didn't see it, it didn't fucking happen. Basically.
Yeah. Well, like I say, you've got to understand that there's a lot of prophecies that Nostradamus has, done.
We're supposed to be getting more opening up together.
A lot of people have been studying it, and this year there was supposed to be quite a lot of mad stuff going on. I mean, like, people have studied him for years, and although he doesn't have he has a pretty good track record of getting stuff right. There's only, when this is over 500 years, it's
dates have always gone
pretty
wrong.
Good. Do you know what I mean?
Dates he threw him in the head.
Yeah, but this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, how can you, even if you get a level of accuracy, it's like getting 100% accuracy. Still, that's way too out there, isn't it? Do you not think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think you could get 100% of anything. To be honest, there's always an element.
And if it's 500, if he's got like a 400-year, nearly 500-year sort of, working, where he's thinking, right, being a couple of years out, he's still in the ballpark, isn't he, to be fair?
Yeah, but he's always... to be honest, the dates don't matter. If the things that he's said and the things that have actually happened, and then we found the keys afterwards, then, the guy must have known what he's talking about. Either that, or we're putting our minds into it and making our own mind up as we think it's this, and this, and it was nothing to do with it. We still haven't got the truth there.
Here we go. Here's one of his predictions. So it's 1072.
Yeah. And
it says, in the year 1999, in the 7th month, from the sky comes a great king of terror to bring back the great king of the Mongols, Mars, rule triumphant before and after, right?
Yeah.
And literally that month, in 1999, there was a solar eclipse.
Yeah.
And it passed over France, and at a certain time, and basically there was another thing that happened, and they crossed paths just at this same time.
Oh, right.
Cassini, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it passed this eclipse at France at that juncture at the very same time, and they said that that's what this was. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, to have, that is quite accurate. Yeah. Do you not think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
But they also say that particular thing was the beginning of this whole end business.
Well, actually, I've got a different date on this. I've actually got, apparently, to be honest, I can't find it. Oh, the 23rd of July. If there was an eclipse on the 23rd of July, I haven't checked this out because I only got this little bit of information before I left my yard. Then that was the start of the bad for Rome and Christianity.
Yeah.
Because
that was July's the 7th month.
Yeah.
So that's right then, isn't it?
Yeah, but was there an eclipse? I haven't
Yeah,
checked.
that's what I've just said. There was an eclipse on the in July in 1999 that went.
This month.
Oh, this month,
Yeah,
this year.
This month, this year.
Right.
Yeah, this year,
okay.
not this month. Yeah, this year.
Nah, well, this is it. You see, every year, it's like I might start coming out with some prophecies, and just go. Some mad guy on a podcast came out with some prophecies. He said it's going to be the end of the world next week.
Well, apparently
it's not. Don't worry about it. But if it does happen now, then it was recorded. This, you know what I mean, in advance. So
yeah.
But yeah. I watched this video during my research, and this guy said, that this was the beginning of the end, and it was all coming from it was all the build up and the start of the Antichrist, and all this stuff that was related to this prophecy. Yeah. But again, this is what I'm getting at, because this is kind of related to religious stuff. Yeah, and it's well, you're adding the fantasy element to the prophecy.
So what you're hiding?
Well, it's not what they're hiding. It's just like you're just twisting it. You're making it something else. It's like
you're only going to twist something if you're trying.
All right, then. It's like
something
as simple as an eclipse. I mean, in the language that he spoke back in the 1500s or whatever, where he writes this poem, in a way, and it all he means by it is there's going to be an eclipse on the 7th month in 1999, and other than that, that's all he means. But we have to attribute that to something else and make it even bigger and go, well, that means it's the end of the world because why does it?
Because the bigger disaster you can frighten people with, the more people are going to turn around and tell the next person and the next person, because it's the older thing of Chinese whispers. Bad news travels a lot further than good news.
Of course it does.
You know what I mean? So you give someone some bad news, you can guarantee by the end of the week it's all around the neighbourhood.
Well, like I say, Nostradamus was right about a lot of stuff, but it's the language they used and language that of the time. Yeah. So it's it's not correct to our ears. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So predictions, you could argue that were real, but again, I'm not sure because of I'd argue against it because of the religious aspects. I just think that kind of not spoils it, but kind of like it
messes
it makes it something else. It's like
it makes it. I agree. You're mixing concrete with cheese.
Concrete cheese.
I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. You're mixing them together, and they're totally. They shouldn't be in there together.
I feel really uncomfortable tonight. I've got aching all over. Yeah, and I'm trying to get comfortable with my microphone, and it's not working out. Well,
apparently this summer stock markets are going to be brilliant, according to Nostradamus.
Well, I've got a fair few of these here, actually.
Yeah.
So, we're leaving a bit of dead area. What's going on? So, predictions for the next 500... So, we left, basically, predictions for 500 years going forward.
Until 3797.
And you might say that some of them are quite vague or a bit rambly, but there's people out there to kind of look into it and kind of,
Yeah, there's scholars who...
Oh, yeah, these people...
They proper put effort into finding out and trying to trace and actually see if these connections are actually right or not. You know what I mean? History changes all the time.
Well, it doesn't change anything, really. The fact is, everyone loves this shit. People love a bit of prophecy action, and, we've got quite a few prophecies that he made in about 2019 that include, and these are a couple that have actually come true as well. Yeah. So, for 2019 include hurricanes, especially bad weather in places like America, especially Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas.
Yeah.
October 2019 is going to be pretty bad, apparently.
Yeah.
Based on his predictions, it's going to be super bad weather, and it's going to be marked as a really bad month.
Yeah.
got some more here. So floods in Europe, including England, which we've had. Italy, Hungary, and quite a few other places too. I think Czech Republic. Yeah. More terror attacks throughout the world. Yeah. More religious extremism. Will get worse in the Middle East. Yeah. What else? The loss of spirituality or Christianity.
Yeah, the Christianity, they're more going to go and flow either with no religion or go into other religions. But apparently they do come back.
Yeah, apparently they do. So waters will rise and climate change will continue. World War III will begin. Between three super... I've not got a date for when, but World War III will begin between 2 or 3 superpowers, which will last 27 years.
Yes, and it will start when the Pope we have now. Yeah,
Pope
dies,
Benedict.
So he gets assassinated.
Yeah. So is he? So I mean, Pope Benedict. They say he's going to be the last Pope Benedict.
Yeah, but in other religious things and in other predictions, it's supposed to be the last Pope is going to be a black Pope. And he was supposed to be this one.
Could that not be like, does it doesn't have to necessarily mean like he could be a part on the dark side?
Well, no.
Yeah, your rebel friends.
No,
a bit like the Emperor.
Yeah, apparently the last Pope
just on the dark side. Benedict looks like the Emperor. I'm not being funny, but Pope Benedict looks like the evil Emperor anyway. Right. So he's potentially, it's like Palpatine. When he was all in the Senate. Yeah. He wasn't acting like a bad guy then, was he? It was like, all right, Palpatine, fancy a coffee after the Senate. Everyone would go out for drinks with him. He was probably a really nice bloke. Yeah, but then as soon as he closed the door, he was like, rebel scum. And then, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I reckon that's what Pope Benedict's like, a little bit. Yeah, he's a bit
naughty on the side.
So when you say he was going to be black, like potentially it was just the fact that language, that he wasn't a nice bloke.
Is he German? I can't remember what.
I don't know where he's from.
Is he Argentine? No, he's not Argentine.
So this will all start when the assassination of Pope Benedict by the Antichrist. Yeah. So these what else have I got?
There's going to be big earthquake in America.
Oh yeah, so the US should get ready because a prediction of an earthquake that will stretch 500 miles from California to Canada.
Yeah,
it's going to. Do you know what the Richter's?
27,000 people or something live in the area.
Yeah. So this is Yellowstone, isn't it? It's got to be.
That's what I reckon.
It'll be a movement of an 8.7 to a 9.2 on the Richter scale. Yeah. This made me laugh. This is a prediction of Nostradamus for 2019. Humans and animals will communicate with each other. Yeah.
But how are they going to be able to talk to each other, or are we going to stop slaughtering them?
Well, maybe it's this. New discoveries will be made, especially in medical discoveries between 2019 and 2020. Yeah. So, we might have invented a Dr. Dolittle style helmet where we were able to talk to the animals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nostradamus could have been right. We're making medical advancements, and if it does, I could tell my cat not to pee on my stuff.
Yeah, but he probably won't listen.
It probably won't. It'll just probably
go like,
do you know what? It'll just mean that, like, all those times when I thought she was being affectionate, it'd be a case of like, feed me, dickhead. Yeah. And I just, you know what? It turns out I didn't like my pet after all. I'm gonna get rid of it.
Back door, go. You're not coming back.
So, I've got a few more predictions, but these are predictions that other people have made. Oh, we'll see what we get. I've not really had a good scan over these.
I'll tell you one, like, South America's been proper on the Nostradamus, fire.
What's this?
The church.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame. The South Americans have been proper all over. I didn't understand what they were saying. But, like, they're proper all over that about Nostradamus and the prediction of Notre Dame going down. And it was like, I don't remember seeing that about Nostradamus going down.
All right, okay.
But,
no.
yeah, they were proper, quite a number of news reports. And it was like, and that was 4 months ago.
So I've got a couple of predictions that were made about the future, about 2020, but they were made years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one was basically that everybody would travel around, or all roads would become tubes.
Bollocks.
So this was in 1957, an article in a popular magazine basically explained how family vehicles in 2020 would need enough power to get from their home to the nearest tube, and then a tube would take them anywhere they wanted to go.
Although Elon Musk is trying some
He's
stuff
doing
like that, isn't he?
No, it's actually like an underground car network.
He wants to do
isn't
that
it?
in London as well, where you get your
and you kind of go in a little elevator, and
Yeah.
he'll take you down into the network, and then you can. But then, how much work is that going to take for him to do all that underground?
And how much safety if we're starting with that little bit and we carry on doing that and it gets bigger and bigger, how much safety above us is it going to be now? You know what I mean? With all the work underneath, we've already got shitloads of sinkholes. You know what I mean? We don't want more kind of calamities like that.
Well, I've got a prediction here that everything in 2020 would be made of steel.
Yeah,
This was made during a 1911 interview with basically, I think it was with the White House, and they basically said that there was I think it was like Edison,
right,
had an interview there, and he was saying like, everything was going to be made of steel. So then we've got we'll finally make it to Mars.
Well,
so this was in the 90s. We had this prediction that by 2020 we would have already made it to Mars.
Yeah, I remember it well.
And that was in Weird magazine in 1997. Sorry. Then women will be built like wrestlers.
Well, there is a few of them.
In the 1950s, the Associated Press writer Dorothy Rowe revealed some shocking predictions of what life on Earth would be like in the 21st century. Among her many head-scratching forecasts, there was that women of tomorrow would be more like 6 foot tall, Amazonian, wearing size 11 shoes. So yeah.
Yeah, well, effectively, she's right there. There has been more.
Here's a prediction from 1943. Computers probably won't catch on.
Oh, I wish that was so true in one way.
And we'll eat candy made of underwear.
Yes, we will.
And we do, yeah. So basically, this was in the New York Times.
Especially when there's a pudding behind it.
Lots of opinions about this, I think, probably. They said that basically underwear would be made of candy by 2020. And there is...
Oh, yeah. Edible underwear,
edible underwear. This was brought to us by in around 1960, I think.
Yeah. Nice.
Prediction here, we'll all be living in flying houses.
We wish.
I know, yeah. This was 1966 by Arthur C. Clarke, the science fiction writer and futurist who believed that boring homes in the night would be a thing of the past in 2020, as the house of the future would be off the ground and levitating, flying around. So there you go. That's another one. Everyone will be drunk all the time.
We're nearly there for Britain. Britain, we are nearly there. Scots are getting ahead of us, but the Irish are beating them.
So Nikola Tesla, who predicted in 1937 that within the 21st century, coffee and tea and tobacco will be no longer in vogue. Alcohol, however, will still be used, and he claimed that it's not as what's it? He's hopefully right about tobacco, but we're not so sure about the coffee and tea.
Yeah,
I think that one's the one to stay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mail will be sent via rocket.
No, they tried that. Surprisingly, I was watching the other day actually on missiles on how they used to try and deliver. First one was actually a bow and arrow.
Oh yeah, but you try anything to deliver a message when you're in wartime.
Doesn't work.
like that's why pigeons ended up getting sent out, because it was like you needed to get something across enemy lines.
Hitler tried it, so did the Americans.
Well, mail delivered by cruise missiles, as insane as that sounds, it was very successful attempts in 1959 when the Navy submarine at the USS the Barbaro sent 3,000 letters, all addressed to political figures. Sent it over by missile. But yeah, just based off that though, you wouldn't expect, that it'd be a viable mail option.
No, and it's expensive. You imagine how much a ticket for that?
Here's a prediction for you. The letters C, X, and Q won't be part of the alphabet by 2020.
By 2020?
Yeah.
Shit, people, we better sort that out before that happens. What are you going to do with no Q?
So, basically, Ladies' Home Journal did in 1900 ask a renowned engineer, John Watkins Jr., for an educated guess about the 21st century.
Yeah.
He had no love for the letters C, X, and Q, and basically said that we wouldn't need them by 2020.
Well, how wrong was he?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad he didn't put a bet on it.
I know, innit? So yeah. Basically is everyone would become a vegetarian.
Never.
Well, again, it's not getting too far off. I mean, quite a lot of vegetarians and vegans out there.
Phase. It's one of them phases that are going to go back.
This is why this guy's just got nearly arrested, because he was coming through with not drugs, but vegan cake mix. Well, basically, it's getting there, isn't it?
But I think he'll end up reversing. I think something will happen and it go, right, vegetables are bad for you.
Well,
and he's like, what?
We'll all have personal helicopters.
I wish.
Forget jetpacks and flying cars. The magazine Popular Mechanics was pretty sure in 1951 that every family would have, by 2020, would have at least one helicopter in their garage.
How wrong?
Human feet will become just one big toe.
Who the fuck wrote that?
In 1911, there was a suggestion by Richard Clement Lucas, who made the following predictions that the humans will evolve to kind of lose our feet and just develop one big toe.
Is acid.
That's all I got to say on that one. Eating will no longer be necessary.
What? Oh, is this
we'll all
taking the pill?
We'll all be living off pill form by 2020.
What about liquid?
Oh yeah, obviously you'd probably need liquid, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, put it liquid form instead of tablet.
Well, here's a liquid. Here's a prophecy. Houses will be cleaned by a hose. Which
you could say that any way you want.
So well, there you go. Which is true. Get your jet wash out. And if you need a jet wash, Alan's Jet Wash, he'll come round, do your patio, your drive, your conservatory.
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
There you go. So there you go. There's some predictions. Some stupid. Some pretty. There's some predictions that were made in the past.
Yeah.
That haven't come true in the future.
Yeah.
And we've also, talked a bit about Nostradamus and stuff and predictions.
Yeah.
There was one prediction, actually, that I wanted to talk about from Nostradamus before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
Is Trump. Have you heard about this prediction about Trump?
No.
Right, okay. So, Nostradamus has basically, there's one big prediction about that he made for President Trump. And that was that somebody would try and assassinate him.
There's already been 7 attempts on him.
Well, this one will actually hurt him.
Yeah. No.
Right? This is going to be towards the end of his election, or his presidency, going into the next campaign. Yeah.
So it'd be this one.
Yeah. This is 2019, 2020.
Okay.
Right? So the prediction is, this is Nostradamus' prediction as well, that he's going to be injured in this assassination attempt.
Right.
And then he's going to come back, be re-elected.
Yeah, which I think he will.
And then assassinated.
Right, okay, so there was one attempt, didn't hit, next attempt, got him.
Yep, and this is basically what they're saying. It was a big kind of Nostradamus conspiracy for this year.
Yeah.
I would have expected that you would have been right on that this week.
On what?
On Trump's and the Nostradamus.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't look for that.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, no, when I started searching Nostradamus and stuff and predictions for 2020,
I didn't come across it.
It was one of the main things that came up. Yeah, I'm going to try. I'll find that out for you when there it is actually. Oh no, that's not it. That's not the story. But yeah, I'll try.
Well, I'll tell you what I will do.
Go on.
Right. Well, at home I've got in French and in English. All his predictions.
Oh yeah,
every single
I think you
one.
brought it round last time when we did the last episode, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And basically, I go and have a look at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Go and have a look at that, and if he mentions or if he says something about like
I'll
indicates
get it up now. Don't you worry.
All right, go for it. Go for it, son. But he was a kind of. Do you reckon he was a bit of a genius?
What do you
for
think
writing
he was
it down
just
and
very,
actually telling people?
He was just very astute, maybe. Here we go. So Nostradamus 2019 predictions: Donald Trump assassination, war, and a hard Brexit.
Right. Well. First off, I've just got to say. This is.
In fact, I've read this exact article, to be honest. So, according to Nostradamus, warned of assassination attempt on Mr. Trump, an armed conflict in the Middle East, as well as a lot of the stuff we've already mentioned tonight. Like I say, I've given you the details. So, about the fact that
now I know where it's come from. Which is the Express.
No. This hasn't just come from the Express. This is the first article that I pulled up because we were just looking for it.
Oh, right, okay.
But look, I mean, if you want to look down the list, there's plenty of other news sources that are saying exactly the same thing. So
I'll have to have a look at some and see what's.
So here's one saying Nostradamus saw Trump as the Antichrist. Nostradamus predicts Donald Trump presidency 500 years ago. Don't freak out, people, but Nostradamus is saying, let's see what he's saying.
He's saying,
quickly.
Fuck off my lawn.
Yeah, well, Nostradamus predicted Donald Trump. That's all it's basically saying. Well, he's an interesting guy. I think we definitely and we'll come back to Nostradamus because obviously he's making he's made a lot of predictions for coming years, and we'll definitely come back on and see what maybe is happening for the end of 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
And then, I think interesting episode. You've been on one. I've not been 200%, so I hope. Thanks for bearing with us.
That's because I'm on one. Because you come over to me and energized.
He's coming energized.
I'm energized.
Like fucking power up.
Yeah, man. Power Rangers.
Yeah, the fucking pink one. So thanks for listening into the show. If you want to talk to us about anything we've discussed on the show this week or any other week, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter at NASA_never and on Instagram at neverstraightanswer. You can check out our pretty pictures and come and see what bullshit we've tweeted. If you want to have a chat, we're always up for it. Yeah. And Taylor's coming on to Twitter as soon as well, actually.
Yes.
In fact, I think tomorrow I might make him a page and send him his login details.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then, we're available on all the platforms from Castbox, Anchor, from Anchor to iTunes, everywhere in between, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix. Or downloads or whatever, you can get us on that. What else am I missing?
Dizzy Jam.
Yeah, if you want to get some merch, get yourself a hat, a t-shirt, or a hoodie, anything like that. Get yourself over to Dizzy Jam. It's affordable merch at reasonable prices.
Coming up to Christmas nearly as well.
So, get yourself for.
We might have to do some Christmas ones or something.
Definitely, I might do a Christmas jumper design or something. Or if anyone wants to help us out and come up with a cool design for a Christmas Never a Straight Answer jumper, then give us a shout and we'll hook you up with one for doing it. Also, I feel like I'm missing something. Shout outs. There's shout outs. Thank you for everybody who requested a shout out this week. Everybody who's been listening, new listeners, old listeners. You're all wonderful and we love you so much, and you're always makes us want to come back every week and do episodes.
Makes us feel welcome
for all the support. And even when like I'm half dying in the I still want to get up and do me thing, man.
Yeah, man.
So appreciate
it's been great doing it, man.
Appreciate it big time. So we've got a lot of shouts. Got a big page of shout outs today.
Oh,
big page, right? So Bill and Frank's Eat Pop Culture. Podcast about comics and culture and movies and stuff. It's awesome. Get them checked out. I've subscribed, and you should too. Assorted Goods, which is a podcast about news and random stuff, bit kind of like us, I suppose, in some ways. Podcast called The Long Coat Mafia. They're really cool. Check them out. Then there's Podcaster. Which is kind of, they just love podcasts. So,
don't listen.
Well, I don't know if they just love podcasts or make their own, but or they might make a podcast about podcasting.
There's only one way to find out.
Don't know. Audio Box, which is podcast production people. Big shout out to Cara D. Domazio, who hit us up for a shout out. The Darkness Speaks podcast. Everybody in the Odd Pod Squad, including Killer Rabbit and Grief Burrito and all our cool mates over there. Mr. Crabtree, Mr. Shirley Crabtree, always a big shout out for you. As well as Swoosh, our number one Patreon, and
he's on holiday at the minute.
Is he on holiday? Where is he? Tenerife?
I think Blackpool.
No, I think it is Tenerife. I think it is always Tenerife. We went to the same hotel once. It was also it was like he was there the week before I was. And then the following year, we did exactly the same thing. We just wasn't booked in at the same time. But then we were like, when we both got home, we still had stories to talk to about the hotel and the staff and everything. It was really cool. And like, where was you staying? And, well, I was up the steps, and like when it was.
We'll have to come next time.
We said this a couple of times, but that's why it never really worked out. But then I've got a big shout out for Mark Gillis. Monix and Malarkey podcast, a History of Italy podcast, which I was saying that must be funny because obviously in Italian, a History of Italy podcast might sound really quite sexy. But then you translate it into English and it's a History of Italy podcast.
History
of Italy. Sounds
Come and have a look
if you want. So big shout out to all of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Man. Keep listening, and
keep rock and rolling, man.
Love you all. That was the shout outs. I still feel like I'm missing something, but I'm probably not. And we are coming towards the end of the show now, and we're running out of time. So that's been it. We've not done an extra for a couple. We did actually do an extra last week, but I've not. Like I say, I wasn't feeling very well, so it didn't go out. But I don't think we're going to do one this week.
No,
but we'll be back to the extras, and I think we're just trying to work out what we're doing with extras.
Yeah, because we're adding little contents in here and there, and so we need the time.
They will be back
time slot
week after this one.
So
it's
got to be an interesting one next.
Something to look forward to, but. In the respect that we've not done an extra, we can still put out the lost extra.
Oh. The lost extra?
The extra that we didn't put out this week. So there will be something midweek, but it won't be a scheduled extra.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So that's pretty much it.
Good.
Love being on the show as always. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to Never Straight Answer. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Out. Fancy fish cakes.
You just fish it.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.